Welcome to Monkey's World. This is Dark Side of the Ring. Sensational Sherri Martel. Um, she was amazing. Uh, um, let's say. And I always admired her because, well, not only was she a good wrestler, but she was the kind of manager, if I ever managed in wrestling, that I wanted to be like. A true manager. Like Woman was. God rest her soul. Not like Miss Elizabeth. I'm sorry. Lord. That's not a manager, that's a valet. I stand there and look pretty. And I go, when my man is down. And I go, when my man is up. No. Like I said. That's why I liked Sherri. That's why I liked Woman, And the girls that came in later, because they were wrestlers, and they could. Well, Woman wasn't a wrestler, but I think she was trained to some degree. Um, and a lot of the ones that came in started out as managers, like Trish Stratus, oh my god, I can't talk. Trish Stratus were wrestlers and great ones. Lita, I may not like Lita, but I think she was a great wrestler. Excuse me. We're all lucky to have witnessed her greatness. She's a Hall of Famer, right where she should be. Um, she died not long after that, unfortunately. She overdosed. Her son appeared on the show. Um, he couldn't talk well, and they wrote the words underneath him as he spoke. He's lost his teeth, part of his mouth, and part of his tongue to cancer. Sherri's best friend talked about that. He did not talk about it. He will not talk about it with her, but she knows it. And so that's what he's battling. He is not. His mother left him when he was 3 months old, and his dad, to pursue her career. And in the end, though, she did not abandon him, because she used to, when she got on her feet and was wrestling and doing well, she would have him come out and stay with her. At first, it was supposed to be a week, and it was a couple of days, which is understandable when you're on the road. And later on, he stayed more. And his father did remarry, and his stepmother raised him. And she was called Sherri's tag team partner by her son. I think Sherri referred to her that way too, because Sherri became very close to her and said, he couldn't have picked a better person to raise our son with, And they used to make sure he watched his mother wrestle on TV, which is kind of cool, She was very much, even though he married Pat when he was pretty young, so he didn't remember Sherri, he was always told who his mother was, and he knew her. And Sherri was actually an exotic dancer. That's where she made the money to go to wrestling school. And she was an amazing lady. Her best friend was on the show. It was sad because WWE was going to take her back. Supposedly, this is what she had heard, but she couldn't tell her friend all the details. But they wanted her to come back. This is after she got in the Hall of Fame. And they were going to pay for her back surgery that she needed, which would help her get off the pain medication, because that's the reason she was on it. She wasn't getting high. Yes, she was addicted to it, but it wasn't because she wanted to get high. It was because she needed a back surgery she couldn't afford, so she was self-medicating. Because women you say, well, she was a big star. Yes, she was. Women in the wrestling business didn't make very much back then. And even in the 90s, when she was working with the guys, yeah, she made some money, but she had to send money home to take care of her son. She was looking after her mom. She was doing a lot, and I don't know that she had much left over. Anyway, and she died sitting on the porch with her mom. So it was unfortunate, very sad. But her story was one of courage, determination, grit. She was fired from WWE in 1993 for failing a drug test for marijuana. I guess she was a known pothead. And according to Bret Hart, a lot of the guys were. And now they don't even care about that, honestly. Nobody does. Excuse me. Nobody cares about pot. Because it's not a big deal. Nobody's ever OD'd on pot and died, you know? Could you kill someone because you stupidly drove high on pot? Yeah, of course. If you were that big an idiot. I know a lot of people who smoke pot. They do not drive under the influence. They think it's idiotic to do that. So, that's actually what she was fired for, because I don't think they tested for any of the prescription meds at that point. Not sure if they do to this day, or how they go about it. Because there has to be a way to do it where I know that they, like with pain meds and stuff, narcotics and stuff like that, which are pain meds, somas, which are muscle relaxers, those are all narcotics. I know that they have to have proof of a prescription, and they have to have, you know, but today I guess everybody's pretty well clean because it's a different time. They grew up in a different time, you know, and I know when I was in high school, well, more my first high school. My second high school, you never heard about drugs. Alcohol was all the rage. Um, but in my first high school, drugs were a huge problem. They were a huge problem. It was like an inner city school because it was a very transient town. They didn't have a lot of houses where people lived forever, you know. They had apartments. So it was very transient. Some of them grew up there and went through school there, but not a lot. So it acted more like an inner city school with fighting, setting lockers on fire, drugs. One of my friends, who was a druggie, he isn't anymore. Um, he actually did very well for himself. He works for a big company that sent him to China to work. Um, he really got his life on track. But I remember when we were in school, he gave himself a homemade tattoo while we were sitting in study hall, sitting right behind me, and I looked at blood, and it's like, okay, dude. So, but I'm glad that he got his life together. He used to fly his son to China, where he lives and works with his wife. Um, to be with him a couple of times a year. He would go over in the summer, he would go over school vacations, you know, and be with his dad. So I think that's wonderful. So if during any of my videos the phone rings, I have to pick it up. Excuse me. Um, so next up, we are going to, before I tell you what the next video is, next week is the Sandman. So that means the finale is Black Saturday. Why would you leave that for the finale? Why wouldn't you put that as the first episode and get it out of the way? I'm not even interested in it, quite frankly, but I'll watch it to review it. But why would you make that the finale? I fail to understand. We have a failure to communicate. Because to me, if you have Sandman the week before the finale, why wouldn't you have Sandman as the finale? But anyway, so next week is Sandman. So that ought to be interesting. Um, they can't have Paul Heyman on there because he works for the WWE. Tommy Dreamer, possibly, but he's associated with the WWE, last I knew. He might not be. He might have just been there for Paul's induction. I know Raven's going to be there because I heard, although that might have just been interviews with Raven from before that they're showing, because they were showing some interviews with Sherri. So that might be interviews with Raven from before. I don't know. I don't know if his ex-wife is going to be on there or his son, who's plenty old enough to be at this stage and who was involved. So we'll see. There were a couple of people I didn't recognize, one of which I think was probably his ex-wife. So it's been a long time since I've seen her. So been a long time since that time period, you know. Anyway, So that's what we have on tap for next week. And then the finale will be the following week. So, but I am going to put up a video today on the other channel. Gotta go. Hey guys, I just want to properly end the video. God bless you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And the prior authorization has happened. Okay, I'll be back.